So here we go, welcome along everybody. We could not have wished for anything better to begin the second half of the Serie A season 2022-23. Last season's title race stays in the memory, of course. This season we might yet be in for something very similar. It's Napoli against Juventus, first and second, with the rest also poised and looking for any sign of frailty. Napoli know, we all know, we dare not dismiss Juventus. An absolutely thunderous atmosphere is awaiting these players in the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. The spectacle even before kickoff has been memorable, and we hope for a very memorable footballing contest now. Juve arrived tonight, standing in second, just above both Milan clubs, starting to give off some of the old familiar signals of their sense of invincibility and superiority, at least on the field. The club off it, of course, facing inquiries into their affairs that may even overtake what they do manage to achieve on the field of play. Some of that, of course, a not unfamiliar scenario for Juventus. But for now, the task for Juve is to show Napoli that they have not gone away. So Juve 7 points back as we start here against the Napoli side that sent Europe into raptures in the first part of the Serie A story. Tonight, Kim Magnier, who went off at half-time against Sampdoria, is okay to start for Napoli. Amir Rahrami, who played the second half, is also alongside him tonight. Petr Zielinski, used off the bench by Spalletti in that game, is restored in midfield here. Matteo Politano squandered an early penalty, but it didn't matter very much. Victor Osimhen soon scored his 10th Serie A goal in 13 appearances so far, in every sense leading the title charge. As for Juve, Bonucci, Cuadrado, De Sciglio, Vlahovic and Pogba all remain injured. Across the back, the old guard may largely have disappeared, but the old tradition remains. Juve have conceded only 7 league goals so far. But the headline tonight, Federico Chiesa starts for the first time in a year. One of the youngsters, Fabio Miretti, is eased aside for the moment. Arkadiusz Milik, frozen out by Napoli, back with a point to prove tonight. If they're applauding themselves for the way this crowd have built up the atmosphere, it's merited, and let's hope for a football match to match it. I don't know how this man has done it, Allegri, the alchemist, but suddenly it begins to look like the potent old mix. A simply magnificent half season from Napoli. That alone, not enough, of course. They know it. So many individual success stories and a team par excellence. The city so strongly behind them. So many heartbreaks, a decade of near misses, many of them at the expense of Juventus, of course. Could this be the one? 10 clear if they win it. So Milik gets the ball rolling, and it is Juventus from left to right. New combinations all around the side. Chiesa back tonight. But most important of all, Don, that sense that they can win games even when they're not supposed to be winning them. And that's what Napoli have to manage tonight. Do you see them doing it?
Well, it's going to be a fantastic game. Good evening, everyone. One of the biggest games across Europe, absolutely for sure tonight. The numbers for both sides are staggering. Napoli's form has been amazing this season. 7 clear as it stands. Juve, 8 wins on the spin and 8 clean sheets. So this game could be epic.
Locatelli. What a story if Chiesa influences it as strongly from the start tonight, Don, as he has been doing coming off the bench, nursed back by Allegri. And a whole half season ahead, let's remember that, to really show he is a true top player, which is what we saw from him 2 years ago.
Phenomenal player, and what a lift it'll give the players playing alongside him. We'll go into a midfield 5, I would imagine. Juve, he'll play on the right-hand side, Filip Kostic on the left-hand side. They've got bundles of energy down either flank. It's how Napoli manage this. They're normally, at home especially Napoli, super aggressive.
Almost spoilt for choice, Spalletti, in terms of the strength in depth across the middle of the park. Zambo and Guisa, Lobotka and Zielinski are the starters in that area tonight. Di Maria perhaps looking for a foul. And getting his wish from the referee, Doveri.
Yeah, important that he takes the knock there. Angel Di Maria, make sure you take the knock in the middle of the park. In traffic, take the foul, but a huge night for Spalletti and his men. The nerves might come in the coming weeks and months, but this could be a huge win if they get it.
They've got to show, Don, surely, from now on, that they are not going to let it slip, particularly at home. That is what happened in March and April last season, and why they ultimately couldn't go the full distance against Inter and Milan.
They've got to make sure their attitude doesn't shift. Their attitude's been aggressive from match day 1.
Alexandro. McKennie. Shut down across the middle there. They're so good at doing that, Napoli. And not just at Serie A level, of course, this season. Quite brilliant in the UEFA Champions League.
Well, the man that just touched the ball there, Stanislav Lobotka, has been amazing for Napoli this season. Sensational footballer. But they have got their own weapons at the top end of the pitch. In Politano, Kvaratskhelia, and especially Victor Osimhen, one of the most devastating number 9s, I think, out there.
Kim Min-jae, what a find in the transfer market he has proven to be already. As this young man, Kvaratskhelia.
If they can try and be brave, Napoli, which I'm pretty sure they will be, with Juve playing a back 3, there is room for the wide men just to try and get down the sides. So it's important that Kostic and Chiesa do their work defensively.
Zielinski. Even above the crowd's roar, I'm sure Szczesny could hear the thundering hooves of Osimhen, but he stayed cool, the keeper.
Incredible atmosphere, it's electric, isn't it?
There's nowhere like it, Don, on a night like this. Nowhere like it.
That's bucket list for me, to watch Napoli at home. Tremendous atmosphere, and it means so much to them. I heard Spalletti talking about the form and the career that Allegri's been on, and he says in Naples we've got to play a slightly different way. We've got to entertain, got to make sure our fans fall in love with our football.
Amir Rakrami. On by Kim to Mario Rui.
Wrong choice there from Rui, not like him. Osimhen offered the run down the flank.
No way out for Filip Kostic. Juve have lost all the last 3 here. Got to put that behind them tonight, as they've put so much trouble behind them during the course of this season so far. They get that decision.
Of course, when you get two teams playing like Napoli and Juve, there's so many matchups all over the pitch, and your eyes can be drawn to different battles. Now I'm looking at Mario Rui up against Chiesa. That's a battle and a half, and Di Lorenzo up against Kostic. Got the quality in the middle of the park with the likes of Locatelli up against Lobotka.
That was rather intricate. Kostic applauding the weight on the pass from Chesney, but he couldn't keep it in play. Mario Rui. Kvaratskhelia restored Napoli hope to full fitness. Started well here. Gives it to his captain.
As he lined up there to potentially take the trick there, Kvaratskhelia, he was surrounded by Chiesa. He got really tight to him. Two very similar players actually in their style.
Locatelli kept his arm by his side. Kim wasn't holding back. What a win that is. Rather old-fashioned challenge, actually.
And I like it from the referee as well. Just play on.
Here come Napoli with Di Lorenzo. Absolute fervour, roaring Napoli on here tonight. Sambo Anguissa couldn't quite get on the end of it. Di Maria still not got to his feet.
Well, the tackle looked clean. It's just whether Kim caught a little bit of Di Maria on the way through. Now he takes the ball. And that's a clean tackle. That's a good tackle. Important night as well for the officials. How they handle the game. They know it's going to be spicy. Interesting, the two skippers Di Lorenzo got the Napoli team before the game in a huddle, so his instructions would have been for his team to start fast. And I think for Danilo, the skipper of Juve, in their huddle, he was probably preparing his team for a bright start, a fast start, try and quieten the crowd. Play the way Allegri wants them to play, with control. And especially early on in the game, Juve wouldn't want any drama.
Forward by Mario Rui. Simeon got Kvaratskhelia there with him, but the closer attentions from Bremer.
That's the run though. That's the run he's got to figure out. Osimhen, the way he just pulls off Danilo into the space. In behind Chiesa. Love watching this guy play. He'll take the knocks. He'll take punishment, but he'll keep getting off the floor. Brave as they come, and as good as they come.
His ability to recover from injuries leaves others standing, actually. Done it again this season. Rabiot shrugged off it. A sense that Napoli are starting to squeeze already. Di Lorenzo, or Simeon it is. Sambo Anguissa. Di Lorenzo again. Flag stayed down. Now goes up.
So two runs from Osimhen on either side. This left-hand side, as we look, he got in behind Danilo. Down the right side for Napoli, just went in behind Alexandro. So he has obviously figured out where the weaknesses might be, or the spaces to run into. Two very experienced managers in Spalletti and Allegri.
In a sense, with Spalletti, it's a lifetime's work going into this season. Mind you, I said that this time last season as well, and very sadly for him, they couldn't quite keep it going.
Well, that is going to be the test. That's going to be the test, when or if Napoli lose the game, how they bounce back.
Milik. Filip Kostic looking for a target. There wasn't really one very evidently. Might have done better just to put the brakes on. Bremer won the race ahead of Simeon. The space in behind here, however. What a recovery by Bremer.
Yeah, Napoli asking for handball, but Bremer got tight. It looked like it hit him on the chest, top of the arm, but it's not a handball. Worth a moan.
Politano it was. Kostic tries to take Di Lorenzo the other way.
That looked a foul.
Rahrami seeking out Kvaratskhelia. That's what Chiesa does so well for a goal-scoring, attacking player. So unselfish, always has been like that. And what a bonus tonight. Do you think there was a part of Spalletti that thought Chiesa would be on the starting lineup?
I think he would have thought, yeah, he's starting in this game. You always prepare for someone like Chiesa, because you know the spark he can have, the influence he can have on other players. There's not many players that come across, but he's one of them where you think he's infectious.
Mario Rui got the ball going quickly forward again. It's cut out by Danilo.
We saw a similar pass from Mario Rui in the Sampdoria game that found Osimhen for his goal.
Chesney had to make a very sharp early save against Udinese from Wallace from a set piece last time out.
Missed the first man. Got to try and make sure you miss Weston McKennie here with this corner.
So it's Kvaratskhelia with the corner. They're not giving Szczesny much room. Had to stand up strongly there. It's not gone far clear. Politano got his head up. The heads go up for it. It drops for Osimhen on the edge of the box. Locatelli came through the crowd.
Two big headers there for Bremer. Two excellent headers defensively.
Getting into their rhythm here, Napoli.
You can see the approach from Juve, allowing Napoli to have the ball in this sort of area, but they must put a press when it goes into the final third.
Osimhen!
Chance, first chance of the game. Great movement, come short, spun in behind Bremer. Keep an eye on the movement there from Osimhen. Bremer lost him, he just couldn't take it in his stride.
Helped on by McKennie for Juve, not far. Rabiot, hustled by Zambo and Guisa. Lobotka onto anything loose. Kvaratskhelia away from McKennie. Di Lorenzo to Politano. Kvaratskhelia, it's a brilliant stop first time as Simeon rams in the header and Napoli go in front.
That is the ideal start for Spalletti's men. Doesn't show any emotion. There'll be emotion inside the terraces, that's for sure. There'll be no panic from Allegri just yet. You can't keep him down, Osimhen. He's always there, his movement's amazing. They worked it really well, Napoli. They were just starting to put the pressure on Juve, forcing them back. Territorially, they were forcing them back. The guy's just a devastating finisher.
Don, it's almost won a game at the moment for Osimhen. In every sense, leading the title charge.
Well, Kvaratskhelia was the man that was, or had the most room. Weston McKennie, I don't think, tracked him back good enough. And he got the shot in space. Then the goalkeeper, Szczesny, actually pulls off a really good save. No fault, I don't think, with the keeper. But Osimhen's there, just ahead of Bremer. It's amazing how many times you see it. A front man always seems to be on the move. Defender static. Huge goal.
Huge game. There's the president.
Love the dynamics in this sort of game now, because Napoli, the home side, have took the lead. Fans right behind them. Incredible atmosphere. And all I think of now is this is a test for Juve.
They've found answers. They've gotten the results. Allegri reintroducing Chiesa tonight with the youngsters who have served Juve very, very well as they put this run together. Told to sit it out for the moment at least, but they've allowed Napoli to get into their rhythm, and it doesn't matter whether you're playing the top teams or the bottom teams in this league. When that happens, Napoli tend to go on to win on.
And we said they've been aggressive all season, so they mustn't, and they haven't changed that mindset, even though they're playing against the Juventus side that are in form. Defensively very solid with their 8 clean sheets on the spin, but they took the game to them. And they have to have that approach in every single game from now to the end of the season.
You're quite right to mention, getting the ball in the net against Juve is a bit of a collector's item at the moment. All business from the anchor position in midfield, Lobotka. Kvaratskhelia, electrifying so far this season. Headed down by Politano. Should be easy pickings for Rabiot, and here comes Kostic. Shut down so quickly.
The only thing Allegri can lean on at this present time, when you mention the youngsters and the experienced players, you're 1-0 behind in Naples. He's gone for experience, so now it's on the likes of Locatelli and Rabiot in midfield to get on the ball, try and find a little bit of calm in this hostile atmosphere.
Comes back off Milik, he couldn't keep it. All this after some brave intentions in the opening 5 minutes from Juventus, but that inevitable blue wave built and then crashed on Juventus. Long way to go.
He's thinking exactly the same thing. They'll be thinking we could be 10 points clear.
Kvaratskhelia, Mario Rui. That's not a ball that Politano can win.
Can't get out,
but he was there again, so busy. Everybody's looking so sharp for Napoli tonight. Zambo and Guisa, bit unlucky.
Can't get out, Juve. That's their biggest problem. They can't get the experienced players like Locatelli on the ball. Lobotka's been swarming all over them in midfield. And he is onside. You can see Chiesa's trying to protect Szczesny, the goalkeeper, who pulls off a very good save, but he's there. Osimhen always is. It's a time for Juve to keep their heads.
And maybe keep the ball a bit down. Milik. Locatelli again. If you take an instant on it, one of those midfield players for Napoli will be on you.
The trouble for Juve is they haven't really got an out ball in terms of over the top. Arkadiusz Milik and Di Maria obviously not the quickest, so you're going to have to be precise in getting the ball into their feet.
It just doesn't seem to offer himself, Milik, the way Vlahovic would.
I actually thought at one point when they played together, when Arkadiusz Milik first come in the side, they were a good partnership. I think Vlahovic liked it. But if you're going to play Angel Di Maria, you've got to get him on the ball. Because without it, he might be a passenger.
Osimhen. Bremer matched him.
I love watching players that problem solve, and he's done it. He might have been prepped from Spalletti with a 3-man centre-back of Max Allegri's men, but he's spinning into them channels well.
Allegri with many reasons to be concerned at the moment. Danilo trying to tidy it up. Rabiot. Di Maria. On by Alexandro. Kostic from deep. Couldn't run with it. Locatelli.
It's good play from Juve.
And now the switch. Now it does go longer to Milik, but it's coming back off him. He's not making it stick. Napoli well clear in the possession stakes at this stage of the game, Don.
Well, the most important thing for that Juve three-man midfield is when it does go up to Arkadiusz Milik, it has to stick. Like you said, you can't make your runs off him if it's going to bounce off him. So that's the starting point for Juve. And have the conversation with Milik, get hold of the ball, we need you.
Now that's the kind of moment, the mistake, which might change things. Di Maria, of all people, gets it, and he clips the top of the crossbar.
And that's how close the margins are at the highest level. One mistake across the back. Ramani nowhere near finding Mario Rui. He's trying to wriggle away here. Di Maria hits a very good shot. Goalkeeper was well beaten. And Merritt's just watching this, praying it's going over the top of the crossbar.
It's an almighty let-off, isn't it?
It might just sharpen the mind.
How much does it change the mindset of Juventus? Maybe that sense that there are vulnerabilities at the back that they can exploit. What a great few days of football on BT Sport. This tonight, last night, that big West London derby. And tomorrow, 11:30 AM is the start time at Old Trafford for Manchester United against City. Full weekend of live coverage with all the big games in Italy as well, for good measure. PSG and the rest in France, of course, as well. McKennie. Wriggle free. Here's Chiesa.
He wriggled away from Mario Rui there. Chiesa with great skill.
A full year's work. It was January the 9th. The game after the Napoli game, incidentally, Don, when he scored his last goal against Roma, that's when he got injured, Chiesa. And it's been fully 12 months to work back to an occasion like this.
I don't know exactly how he feels. I had the same injury, an ACL injury, and it is a brutal injury to rehab from. Not only physical, but mental. He's at the right age though at 25. He'll bounce back pretty quickly, even though you said it takes a year. It's how long it really takes you to get back to the top level.
He's not going to be judged on one night tonight, that's for sure, and already off the bench, an important contributor in recent weeks. Kostic very quiet so far tonight, shut down so early and so high.
Well, that was brilliant work, setting the tone there, Politano with the tackle.
It's gone the other way.
Must have been. I thought it was a Juve throw-in. I might be wrong. You see Kostic trying to clear it. Might have come off the right foot of Kostic, but difficult.
Milik. It's the same story and repeat tonight for Milik so far, I'm afraid.
Well, Napoli for sure now are starting to win the midfield battle. Every time it's bouncing in there, Lobotka, Anguissa, Zielinski are first to the ball.
Kim. Picked up on the edge of the box by Kvaratskhelia.
Not like him, apologises with the final product. What a high static press that Napoli are putting on, so they're more or less saying to Juve, you're going to have to go long. We fancy ourselves.
McKennie, who is good in the air, he won that one, but no further. Lobotka, for once it breaks down, and Chiesa has the chance to try to drive forward for Juve. Nearly found Milik. Anguissa. Simeon shut down. He then appealed for a handball, doesn't get it. Alexandro. Di Maria. Milik. Straight at Meret.
And that was a chance for Milik. The perfect ball onto his head. He needed more power and a little bit of guidance to the left-hand side.
Simeon going the other way. Kostic did well.
Got to say, Paul, sorry, I've got to say I'm really enjoying the referee's stance in this game. He's letting one or two little fouls go, little niggly ones, and it's making the game a better watch.
Good by Di Maria. Rabiot. Now Kostic forward. Digs out the cross. McKennie was arriving, not quite. Kim's there. Alexandro. Bit of urgency from Juve. Di Lorenzo doing the hard stuff so well.
That's a good throw in from Osimhen to win. Just putting the defender under pressure. This is the ball, and it's a fantastic ball onto Arkadiusz Milik. He's got to be more. He's got to have more conviction with the header. It just sort of hit his head. He didn't go with any power. Should be aiming for just outside the post to bring it back again.
This was missing by a sliver and no more. Lobotka. Kim just waited to try to find a pass. This is a good little spell here for Juve building. McKennie wins a challenge against Lobotka. Here's Rabiot. Assessed the options. Kept it well. Milik chest down this time. And it took clear by Zielinski.
Good refereeing again. Tackle from behind from Danilo on Kvaratskhelia. He let it go.
Rabiot down. He's not getting a free kick either. Well, we didn't hear the whistle, understandably. They queue for miles around and for hours and hours before a game like this. There's a fan experience like no other.
I mean, they'll be desperate for a title, Napoli. 89-90, the last time they won the league. And I was looking at some top scorers from the 89-90 season, Paul. Van Basten, Baggio, Maradona, Schillaci, Rudi Voller, Klinsmann, Vialli, Careca. Unbelievable names.
Careca here for Napoli. Gaveri again lets Juve get on with it. Locatelli. Alexandro. Di Maria hunting for it. So important to get this Juve side going tonight.
That's good work there from Di Maria. You want him on the ball. And he's going to have to take these little knocks. It wasn't the worst tackle in the world from Zielinski. It's a definite foul. He trips him. You've got to be brave. You've got to lead by example in this sort of game.
Word for Politano.
Depends on how the players see this, but I think the Di Maria free kick, the in-swinger, is more difficult to deal with than the out-swim of Chiesa.
It's left to Di Maria. Simeon did his duties defensively.
Oh,
it's going to be a corner.
I didn't see that one. Again, I could be wrong. I thought it was a goal kick.
No Bonucci, no Vlahovic. Who could get on to the end of this for Juve? Well, doing his best was Bremer, perhaps distracted by Merit, who's not the tallest goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think that's what done Bremer there. He got the flight of the ball. Goalkeeper might have got a little fingertip on it as well. Just put him off. Credit to Juve though, just shy of half an hour. They're staying in the game. They haven't buckled. Don't expect them to.
Gone off the boil a little bit, Napoli. Kim stepped on well. Zambo Anguissa shut down, hesitated, ball was lost.
I'm not sure that Spalletti wants Anguissa there. He wants him higher up the pitch.
Rabiot, men arriving for Juve. Kim's header. Locatelli following in.
He's been doing his best work, Anguissa, for Napoli, breaking forward, getting in the box.
And now the test the other way with Politano. Juve out-crowding him, but it is at the expense of a free kick this time against Rabiot, who hasn't had much from the referee recently.
I feel a little bit for Rabiot there because they got good numbers. They had a 2v1. I always thought that he was losing his balance there, Politano. So any sort of nudge was going to send him over.
Simeon kept it, gave it eventually to Zambo Anguissa. Game management here a little bit perhaps done from Napoli. They just had that sense that Juve were building up the pressure. Napoli just slow it.
Yeah, maybe the energy that they put into the first 20 minutes or so just caught up to them, so they thought, you know what, let's just sit off Juve, let's just try and regain ourselves and let's go again.
But they've left Di Maria in space, and that was important by Rahrami. Chastened by giving that chance away to Di Maria. He's had one life, he won't get many more tonight, he knows that. Game of very fine margins. Kvaratskhelia. Dazzling early on again tonight, the youngster. Given away by Mario Rui. A much more seasoned operator, Mario Rui.
Well played. Got the ball back off Rabiot.
Yeah, did great.
Well, Rabiot needs to get back in instead of moaning to the referee.
Kvaratskhelia outside of the peg. Not quite for Osimhen, but Osimhen applauds the ingenuity of it.
I think it's a good watch because you look at it, obviously, two very good managers, two excellent 11s, but there's massive differences between the two sides. Napoli play with a lot more of energy. The likes of Osimhen when he's closing down, where you don't get that with Arkadiusz Milik for Juve. Two different styles. So the closing down aspect favours Napoli.
Zambo Anguissa let it run across him. Politano. Di Lorenzo outside him, arrives so fast. Zambo Anguissa. Very well defended by Juve. The shot by Zielinski.
Brilliant block from Locatelli on the edge of the box.
Zielinski again. Di Lorenzo, what a career he has built. He's captain of Napoli in what could be a title-winning year. 6 years ago he was playing in the 3rd division, and he's worked his way up.
What an attitude, what a player.
Zambo Anguissa. Spalletti clearly saw something in him that maybe one or two of the other coaches who've been in charge of his career just couldn't get to, Don.
I think he's a better player, Anguissa, the further up the pitch he is. I think if you're Anguissa, you let the likes of Lobotka get on the ball. He's the Pirlo-esque type of player if you want, but Anguissa can sort of get in the box, use his physicality, use his legs, and go box to box. He's not a bad finisher either. Aerially, he's quite good. So when you're trying to analyse someone's strengths and weaknesses, I think with Anguissa, get him in the 18-yard box. That's when he becomes a threat.
So many good duels going on all around the field, as you forecast tonight, and this is one of them. Kostic against Politano, with Di Lorenzo backing him up. Setting a very, very high standard for what's to come. The top two in Serie A. Milan are at Lecce tomorrow evening, 5:15, BT Sport 1. Obviously, Milan hoping to overhaul Juventus as the first incursion toward the top spot. Same story for Inter against Verona tomorrow night, 7:30, following the Milan game. And on Sunday, Roma at home to Fiorentina. Roma with ground to make up.
I worked on the Milan-Roma game the other week, Dempo, and there was a definite robbery in San Siro. How Roma took a point from that game, I will never know. 2-0 down with about 5 minutes left on the clock. Somehow they come out of it with a 2-2 draw.
Apparently Pioli still doesn't understand at all how they managed to go out of the cup in midweek. At home to Torino. What a victory for Torino.
10-man Torino.
Clever turn by Zielinski. Whatever their fortunes at the World Cup, the Napoli players, Don, who were there, Kim, Mario Rui, Zambon-Guissa, Zielinski, you could have no complaints about how they've returned. Spalletti, surely.
Yeah, it was always going to be it was always going to be impossible to see which players were at the World Cup and which one wasn't, to see. They're trying to get a gauge on who was going to perform and who wasn't. What I would say, off the back of that Inter defeat, it was important for Napoli to get the win against Samp, get back on the winning horse, go again. Look at a little block of fixtures and try and put a run together. Fixtures are quite kind: Salernitana, Roma, Spezia, but tonight's the big one.
Simeon might yet make something out of it. So much space for Kvaratskhelia, who was never going to miss. Napoli further in front. The find of the season. Kvaratskhelia again.
Well, he'll get the headlines, but don't underestimate the work and the presence that Osimhen's got, because he's scaring the life out of that back three. The Brazilian back three for Juve. Every time he gets anywhere near Danilo, Bremer, Alexandro, he's scared stiff of him. And I think that's where the mistake comes from. And then he's got the presence of mind to find Kvaratskhelia. And his 7th goal this season. But what a big one it might be. The form that he's been in, you always fancied him. And look at the work here from Osimhen. It's a routine ball that gets whipped around the corner. Now all of a sudden, panic stations. And the finish, even though it's bobbling, is a very, very good one. Not an easy finish.
Tucked away with all the aplomb of Lorenzo Insigne, unerringly. The face of the future.
And look what it means to the bench, because they know that goal just before half-time could be crucial.
Of course, there's an inquest going on for Juve, but what will really hurt Juve, Don, they were beginning to get a foothold in the game.
I mean, can you imagine being in that stadium tonight? It's absolutely rocking. We've got to have a word with the bosses, Paul. We need to be here.
Can Juve dig their way out of this?
You've got the armband, right?
Here is the captain. Politano.
There's a yellow coming somewhere for a Juve player. They're feeling the heat. It's good refereeing. Not every foul has to be a card. Presence. It's not great defending, but Osimhen puts Bremer under pressure. Then there's an overload. And he just gets far too much room there, Kvaratskhelia.
The problem for Bremer here, Don, you know, in the big moments, in the big games, you are going to put yourself up in that position for comparison with the men who would have been there 3, 4, 5 years ago. Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzagli, and all the predecessors. This is the standard demanded at Juventus. They've been very tidy defensively in this recovery, but that was not good.
Well, that might be the killer mistake, the killer goal that takes the game away from Juve. I expect them to react. But 1-0 going in at half-time for Juve wouldn't have been the end of the world. Now they've got a mountain to climb.
Di Maria. Di Maria gets one back immediately, just as Juve craved. It's 2-1.
That's what you need from your leaders. Demand the ball. Make sure you get on the ball. And Di Maria's done that. This is just as good of a finish from Kvaratskhelia. It's the way he works it. And Allegri's men now, they've got a lifeline. See him picking up the ball. He's looking for a little wall pass, a little 1-2. Gets a little bit of fortune, but Milik lays it off. Correct way to pass from Arkadiusz Milik. He puts it on the right side, as in the correct side for Di Maria. And on his left foot there, you fancy him. Meret scrambling away to his right side, but in truth, he's not saving this.
He shows his worth all over again, Di Maria. Always seems to have something to say on the big, big days.
And that's just quietened the crowd by a notch or two.
Yes, mistakes have played a part, but a wonderful quality finish from Di Maria, and just the hope, I think, Don, from the Juventus perspective, that Napoli tonight not entirely secure.
It's just a great
defensively.
It's a great advert for Italian football. Two sides going at it, and even though they were 2-0 behind Juve, they haven't buckled, they didn't melt.
The game's going to go on. I think it's Kvaratskhelia. He is off the field. Here's McKennie. He's off the field now, and Osimhen.
Brilliant work.
One of Spalletti's assistants, after Danilo, seemed to collect a yellow.
Well, you're going to get moments in a game like this where it might be a little bit fiery. That's a bad tackle, actually. Catches Kvaratskhelia down the back of the Achilles. That's deserving of a yellow card for sure. It's a nasty tackle, that. It's not a red.
Milik got on it. Was the ball in play? Hard to judge for sure from our range.
Unlucky there, Lobotka. He's been absolutely first class in the first 45 minutes of this game.
Politano, Zambo Anguissa, poor touch by him. Time for Juve to entirely change the mood here. Chiesa and then Di Maria trying to probe on the edge of that penalty box. Rabiot, 2 additional minutes.
Finishing strong, Juve. Good end to the half from them. Gives them momentum, even though the scoreline is against them. It gives them a little bit of momentum going in for that half-time team talk.
Mario Rui on Di Maria.
Hard one to judge. I'm not sure if Di Maria was backing in or Mario Rui went through him. I think the latter. Intelligent there from Di Maria, you know, he just stands his ground and he's saying to Mario Rui, you ain't getting this, the only way you can get it is if you go through me.
And for me, Don, for what it's worth, he's also saying, eye on the clock, if we can stop the game, we might get a bit closer to going in 2-1 up.
Yeah, but we
shall see.
There's small wins when you're playing the game and trying to get your opposition number on a yellow card.
Di Maria trying to exert full punishment for that. He's aimed it at Milik. Meret wanted to get it going again for Napoli. Wiser heads prevail.
Looks a pensive manager tonight, Spalletti. There's a lot going on.
Well, they've not been able to put Juve away. That's one of the reasons. Chiesa. In it comes. And Meret reacts brilliantly to spare the blushes of Rahrami. And now Rahrami says thank you. Thank you indeed.
What a save. It was a brilliant ball in and he had to react there, Alex Meret, away to his right-hand side. He wouldn't be expecting that from his defender. But what a strong right hand. What a save.
What a half, Don. They're going to turn around with Napoli in front by 2-1. It's the whole season in one half. Napoli's devastating attacking ability for all the world to admire tonight, but the newfound resolution in this group of Juve players in their greatest tradition. They were 2-0 down, but they hit back hard and they hit back quickly and they're right in the contest. It's Napoli 2, Juventus 1. So welcome back, everybody. Napoli are in front against Juventus by 2-1. They are about to make a change at half-time. Algif Elmas is set to start the second half. You can see the Spanish Super Cup final between Real Madrid and Barcelona on Sunday evening, 6:30. That's in addition to all our coverage from Serie A and Liga over the course of this weekend. The Manchester derby is tomorrow. A reminder that all the stories of the weekend will be reviewed in Golazzo Live on Sunday from 7 on BT Sport 2. Kvaratskhelia stroking home the second to give Napoli a 2-0 lead. We should have known better than to presume the match was over, far from it. And Di Maria's sparkling goal for Juve, almost from the restart actually, reminded Napoli and everybody watching that this is not going to be won easily tonight. It's Politano who's going off. Any insight from you, Don, on that?
No, unless he's took a knock, unless it's a tactical change. I thought Politano played really well in the game. Elmas is a player that's got bundles of energy. So he'll slot in the same position, I would imagine.
So Algif Elmas brought on by Spalletti as we resume with Napoli 2-1 in front. Politano has made way for him. And straight back in the groove. Kvaratskhelia. Danilo in full retreat. Danilo, who's on a yellow, remember, that might even have been a deliberate ploy, I reckon, Don, to give it to him and run at Danilo from the off.
Well, absolutely. Why wouldn't you? Brilliant skill from Kvaratskhelia. Might even have been a little nutmeg on Danilo. Not a nutmeg, but he went round him. And then good recovery run on Danilo. I expect the half-time team talk from Spalletti to get his Napoli team right back on the front foot, as they did in the first 15 minutes of the game. Put Juve under duress, put them under pressure.
Rabiot can't quite get there. One or two slips by Rahrami in the first half, which Juventus might want to exploit going the other way. Very close to an own goal right on half-time. Great stop by Merit.
Depends on how Allegri sees this in terms of his game plan early on in the game. Obviously, he would have briefed these midfield players, these defenders, no more goals against. That's how aggressive early on after half-time do Juve want to be, or do they grow into the second half? It's a fine line, staying at 2-1, trying to get it back to 2-2, or going 3-1 behind. Something the players have got to manage.
To play by Filip Kostic. With the win, they go 10 clear, Napoli. Still, we're only at the halfway point of the season. Everybody here understands that, but the significance of a victory tonight, all too clear against a resurgent Juve.
Nice touches, you know, from Osimhen. I think there's one or two defenders trying to bump him off the ball and put him under pressure, and he accidentally bumped into Locatelli, and he caught him, but it was totally accidental. See there, Alexandro, quite heavy-handed on Osimhen. There's the battle, and then he accidentally sort of punches Locatelli, but it is everyone's going over. It'd be a painful one for Locatelli because he wasn't expecting it.
They knew what to expect from Osimhen tonight, and he is not disappointed.
I stand by it, you know, there's centre-forwards out there in world football, like Lewandowski, there's some brilliant centre-forwards out there. But this kid, and I'm not stubborn with Victor Osimhen, I rate him so high. He's chaos at times, but he produces. He's a bundle of energy, he's as brave as they come, he leads the line, got a great first touch, always desperate to score goals. Only at 24, nowhere near his prime. Seen some big players going across Europe for close to 100 million plus, but this guy, I don't know, 150 and rising.
Doesn't have anywhere near a full complement of substitutes tonight, Allegri, with the big name absentees and the younger players like Fagioli, Moretti, Soulé, Gatti making up more than half of the available bench. Our director picked out Paredes if there is to be a problem with Locatelli. The thumbs up from Rabiot there. The Kvaratskhelia fan club. You were telling me, actually, Don, I said how superbly they did in the awful circumstances which led to his release from Rubin Kazan, but they dived into the transfer market and made sure he was coming here when other clubs were still debating it.
There was teams like Inter, teams like Juventus, and one or two other European sides were all keeping tabs on Kvaratskhelia, but Napoli were the ones who were brave enough to go and get the signing done. Especially when they lost some big players, you know, the job that Spalletti's done and the board have done and getting the likes of Kvaratskhelia in when they've lost Koulibaly and Senior, Dries Mertens. Phenomenal recruitment.
Prima.
Add Kim to that list as well, you know, when you lose Koulibaly and Kim comes in and plays centre-back for Napoli. And even though Koulibaly will be a miss because he's a fantastic footballer, Kim slotted in there. He's been here for years.
They got him from Fenerbahce. But there was probably some very good scouting going on in the seasons before that. If it all does fall into place from here, another Napoli hero is going to be the sporting director, John Tolley, for all that work. That's a giveaway by Mario Rui. Can stop Di Maria. Weston McKennie driving for the line, gets a corner out of it. One or two little errors like that across that back line tonight by Napoli.
Yeah, it's difficult to try and imagine the scenario that they're in when they haven't won the Scudetto since 89-90, when Maradona was playing and the stadium's been named after the great man. Of course they're going to come under pressure, I would imagine, in the latter weeks, but this 45 is something they have to manage.
Di Lorenzo, I think, another corner.
And I think the best way forward for Napoli is to go and attack. That's their best form of defence.
As they've been doing with such aplomb this season. Still awaiting the return of Locatelli. A little bit more width on that one. Locatelli just about missed that on the ball as it broke on the edge of the box, allowed back on the field. Now Mario Rui has got turned here. Di Maria doesn't get anything out of him.
He stopped, he felt the shirt pull of Mario Rui and he just stopped there, Di Maria.
Samuel Guisa bundled over by McKennie.
To be fair to the referee, he tried to let things go there. There were so many players in a confined space. That's a foul from McKennie on Anguissa. He tried to give Kvaratskhelia the advantage. This is the little shirt pull from Mario Rui. It's tiny. Not surprised the linesman and the referee played on there. There must be so much more going on. Spalletti looks a calm figure, looks a calm expression. His heart must be beating like you wouldn't believe.
I should say so. Osimhen squeezes clear. Don't think it was going in, but Chesney wasn't to know for sure and made the save.
What a run. Carbon copy of the run against Samp when he had Rincon sent off, and he's got Alexandro in a world of trouble here. He's never going to catch him. Now he's just trying to manufacture a finish on the angle, which is tight. Another part of his game that's ridiculously impressive.
So it swings down the other end in this packed out stadium. What a spectacle. And it's living up to all the excitement generated in the week's build-up. Are they going to make this change now? It is to be Paredes for Juve.
See how Locatelli recovered from the facial injury.
Allegri's gonna
Stayed
pause.
On.
Yeah.
Locatelli stayed on. Always wise, I think. Don't make the change at a corner.
Outswinger. Belted home magnificently. Napoli lead 3-1. Rahrami makes full amends for his earlier errors tonight. The goal of his life.
What a hit. Unbelievable hit. And still, Spalletti shows no emotion. That's the goal he would have craved at half-time when he delivered that team talk. I mean, Locatelli there in tears, he's in pain. I'm not sure it would have made any difference whether he came off the pitch or not. I don't think he was marking Rahmani. What I would say from the centre-back's point of view, what a hit. Incredible hit. That's got the fans going again. Little bit of daylight. Locatelli just had a little bit of room to try and not really pick up any markers. He was a sort of floater, really, just in the zone. Couldn't quite see who. Ramani come off. Might have been Bremer, could have been Danilo. But the hit is incredible.
The stuff of dreams for Napoli tonight. The 2-goal lead is restored, but we've seen Juventus turn it round once already, and now Allegri is going to throw on more than one substitute. Moise Kean is coming on. Milik withdrawn along with Locatelli.
They're trying to react, Juve, with the substitutions. But now, as I said, when they were 2-0 behind, now at 3-1, this is a huge test for Juve away from home.
Just modify that as a suggestion done slightly, given how brilliantly Napoli have attacked in this game, for them not to win it from here. What would that do? And you've already spoken about the mindset of Spalletti with such expectation, the heartbreak of last season. But it did go wrong at home in the big games last season. They've truly got to see it through tonight. Have a look at the fixture list with the home games to come in the next 6 weeks or so.
It's important. It goes without saying, when you're winning 3-1 in a game that you can go 10 points clear, it's imperative that you take all 3 points.
The next visitors, Roma, then they host Cremonese. These are just the home games ahead. Lazio and then Atalanta. So those are the next home games. You win this one at home tonight, you've got a 10-point lead, and if you stay the course, you're pulling clear at that stage.
And the 2 away games is Salernitana and Spezia, so there's some big points, and there's a chance for Napoli to go on an unbelievable run. No one, I promise you, no one, Spalletti, subs, coaches, players, will be thinking anything but the remainder of this game. There'll be no eyes fixed on the Salernitana game. There'll be no thought process whatsoever.
They've still got Juve to see off tonight. Juve have shown, even in this game, just how they've managed to turn around what was a quite dismal start to their season.
Paul, I worked on the AC Milan-Roma game the other day, and Milan were very good for 85 minutes of the game, winning 2-0. Ibania scored from a set play, standard for Roma, on 86.
Oh, Simeon might be in again, Don. He is!
What a chance to bury the game. What a chance. And the point I was going to make is, even Milan were 2-0 up and they only managed the draw, so it's important that Napoli bury this game. I fancied him there, you know, I really did. Just got underneath it. Maybe it was just ahead of his stride and he couldn't get the accuracy. But go on and get the 4th. It's their best form of defence.
Kvaratskhelia, Rui did appear offside, but the game goes on for the moment.
He looked offside to me. Big job now for Moise Kean leading the line. Got to make sure, this is a man that's been getting chances lately. He's got to make sure he finishes at least one to get them back in the game.
3 presentable opportunities against Udinese, which he could not take. Kvaratskhelia.
He's come alive, second half.
I think it's the danger element in that lunge by McKennie. The referee sees that as a free kick. Mr. Allegri has played 2 cards. Di Lorenzo. Deflection, and Chesney is able to adjust and did well.
Wow, they're flowing. Napoli are absolutely flowing at the moment.
But you're so right to say that from their perspective, with 30 minutes left here, Don, 3-1 up against Juventus, not to take the 3 points from here, unthinkable. But There's a gusto and a belief when they go forward. I'm winding it back 10 even more years, you know, the rebirth of Napoli, if you like. And that brilliant side of Mazzari, it almost played a new brand of football which the others couldn't cope with. They got so close so often. A pattern set for the decade, and very often it was Juventus, ultimately in the title race, who saw them off. They've got to see Juve off in this game now. Remember, they've still got to go to Turin at the end of the season. Di Maria, who's dragged Juve back once. Rabiot. Chiesa, waiting for a big moment from him tonight. Juve on his first full start in a year. Osimhen, again he gets the better of Bremer. Kvaratskhelia, everybody's on their feet. Danilo's backing off, back right off into the box. Spaces both sides. Elmas normally can keep it in the tightest areas. Does so. Zambo Anguissa. Recycled by Zielinski. Lobotka.
Well, Bremer looks absolutely petrified every time the ball goes up to Victor Osimhen. Scared stiff of him.
Deflection again, and Chesney again claims Juventus have got to find a way to get their front men back into this game.
Well, you have to imagine, from Juve's point of view now, 3-1 down away from home, they've almost got to play the perfect second half because they can't give up any more goals. One more goal for Napoli and the game's buried.
This game tonight in this stadium feels even a level above the tradition here on the big nights. This is something else.
Touch.
They know what it means. But here's Chiesa. Digs one out. Out as far as Bremer. Tidy from Kostic. Di Maria's not given up on this yet, but he's stopped by Elmas.
Brilliant tackle.
Handy man to come off the bench at half-time, Elmas. Kvaratskhelia in full flow, a sight to behold. Danilo stopped him well.
Well, you just think of the energy now and the running power that Napoli have got with Elmas and Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen. Somehow, Juve have got to stay in this, and somehow they've got to get the next goal in the game, get it back to 3-2. Weston McKennie's got to try and have an impact on what he's good at, and his game is getting in the box. He might have to empty his position once or twice.
Paredes, World Cup winner now. Rabiot, the other World Cup winner, for once took his eye off it. Osimhen picked it up.
The speed of Napoli now, though.
Bremer out to Kvaratskhelia. Mario Rui on the follow-up, and it's still alive for Napoli. Kvaratskhelia gets it back, looking for Osimhen! Talk about a cutting edge. Napoli lead Juventus 4-1.
Good night. That's all the 3 points for Napoli, and what a goal. If any goal sums Napoli up this season, this is it, the fourth goal. The players know that was the goal that's going to take the 3 points and take it away from Juve. And it's a typical Napoli goal. Pressing high, loads of energy, cross into the box, front man devastating. Superstar.
He takes his back. Courage, class, physical supremacy, but clinical in front of goal as well.
He's one of the most lethal strikers out there in Europe. they know, the board know, the fans know, the players know. But look at the press from Mario Rui. That's where they win the ball back. Kvaratskhelia takes a touch. Has he got the quality? The run in behind's a good one. It's not great defending from Alexandro's point of view. He lets him run off the back of him, but the header, Arkadiusz Milik had a header in the first half, never looked like scoring. Every time Osimhen gets in there, he buries most of the chances that he gets. Look at that, the desire. Look at that, the technique. Only one man of those three players, Kostic, Alexandro and Osimhen, that wanted to get his head on that. Allegri knows.
It hurts bad.
The vibe in this stadium is just unreal.
I did tell you.
I mean, they have dismantled a few sides in Serie A and in Europe this season, but this is incredible.
It's significant because it means so much.
But it's how they play. We called it. If they can be aggressive like they have been, no one can live with Napoli. I swear he'll break into a smile at some point, Spalletti. I mean, this is a statement win, 4-1. But if they really want to put a statement out there to the rest of Italy and go and dismantle Juve by scoring 5 or 6, that would be a story. And there's only one team that wants the ball at the moment, and they're wearing blue. Osimhen smelling the match ball.
Many of the Juventus players look a bit dazed by all this to me. Di Maria has tried and tried.
Do you know, the fitness levels of this team as well as something else. There'll be one or two Juve players in the next 10 minutes starting to blow.
Di Lorenzo. Kvaratskhelia! Good stop that by Szczesny.
Just terrific. Link will play all round, fantastic touch into Osimhen. He made sure he took care of the ball, laid it off to the edge of the box, and a good strike from Kvaratskhelia.
Here's Chiesa. Allegri sent him out to the left in the closing moments of the first half, trying to cut in from that side, attack that penalty box. Saw some great goals from those positions, but it's just not appearing like it will happen tonight.
So great teamwork though, Elmas helping out his fullback.
Keane has gone on the end of this. They block him out. Juve corner, and more changes imminent here.
Yeah, it's great teamwork from the home side. It was Politano helping Di Lorenzo, now it's Elmas doubling up when Chiesa gets the ball.
I think it's Mario Rui who's going to come off.
He's put a shift in, as usual. Oliveira coming on for him.
Oliveira, who was signed from Getafe. They have added another defender, actually, during the transfer window. Napoli boosting their numbers. Bartosz Bereszynski, signed from Sampdoria. He is on the bench. Outswinger from Di Maria. him, so quick to react. Lobotka, everything loose Napoli are onto. Oliveira getting a touch or two immediately.
So that's it, anytime the ball falls into a midfield player or a midfield 50-50, Napoli are winning those. Lobotka's been excellent, and Oliveira just jumping on a Juve player, stepping onto him, and they regain possession. And they're more or less saying to Juve, what are you going to do? You're going to close us down? Because if you do, we'll get more chances in behind.
Matheus Oliveira again. Di Lorenzo, spoiled for choice. Elmas, here they come again. Yes, there's good fortune this time, but there was quality written right through that.
Well, that fifth goal was coming a mile off. It was the patterns of play, the keep ball session that Napoli were on against a tiring Juve midfield. They couldn't get anywhere near him. They couldn't put any pressure on the ball, and it was so easy for Napoli to play through this Juve side. Yes, they're chasing the game and they're committing numbers forward, but there was so many blue shirts in space, and this is a statement win. This is where they get opened up. Di Lorenzo's got loads of room, as is Elmas. He drops inside. Kostic takes a big deflection away through. Szczesny trying to read it.
Is anybody brave enough to take it off Elmas here tonight? Szczesny looks like a man who doesn't know what has hit him in goal. Juve, 8 clean sheets in a row, and then this tonight. So Miretti and Illing come on. Di Maria and Danilo are spared any further punishment.
Well, the only thing I can think of there from Allegri's point of view is resting one or two players. This game's gone, and he's resting one or two players maybe for the Atalanta game, but that's a mile off.
Elmas gets the goal.
He's battered. He is battered Danilo, Bremer and Alexandro all night. A one-man wrecking machine he's been tonight. 3 centre-backs, 3 Brazilian centre-backs can't deal with Victor Osimhen. That's how good he is.
It even looks like he's feeling sorry for them. They're feeling very sorry for themselves. Manchester United and Manchester City set to meet tomorrow on BT Sport, not to be missed, of course. As we look again at the goal which has been given to Elmas, Juve dare not look. Lecce Milan tomorrow. Milan are loving every part of this, I should think. Also tomorrow, Inter against Verona. And Roma need to get in the race if they can. They're at home to Fiorentina on Sunday evening. Don't forget Golazzo with the fallout from this in the build-up to that game.
I don't think any Neapolitan would have saw a 5-1 before the game.
Not even after beating Juve, remember, here on the last 3 years. This is something else tonight.
And I think even before this game, but after the way they've won tonight, these are the real deal, these players.
Lobotka, he's just going to keep ball, isn't he, from here. There's a Simeon at it again. The concert is beginning all around the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. That's a real giveaway by Kim, but he's not punished for that.
I'll tell you, a psychological blow if Spalletti's even thinking it or contemplating it. He could now take off his really big players. This game's done. Osimhen's on a hat-trick, but you might want to rest him. That's almost an insult to Juve if you start taking these top players off.
Kostic very quiet tonight, Kostic.
Somehow they're going to have to shake this one off, Juve.
The torches are out, and I'm tempted to say it's because they're searching for anybody who can stop them from winning Serie A. But then again, we must remember it's only the halfway point done. There's still a lot of points to play for. That sums it up.
There's the change. Raspadori, and listen to the reception he's going to get. Victor Osimhen. What a player.
Zielinski also coming off, and Ndombele, and another of the summer signings, Raspadori from Sassuolo. Wrap him up, get him ready for the next one. And class as usual from Zielinski.
They've all been at it, to be fair, every one of them. Napoli players at this point can totally just relax and enjoy themselves. 15 minutes to go.
Keane. Paredes. Kept going. It was a solo effort, wasn't it? And it's all a little bit piecemeal from Juventus. Winning it as they like here. Done. Do you know, I was tempted to think something else as well. Who is going to fancy coming here in the UEFA Champions League? Eintracht Frankfurt, for starters?
Oh. Well, that'll be some game, but you don't want to be coming here. They're too aggressive, Napoli. They feel as though the form they're in, and the devastating players they've got at the top of the pitch, they can dismantle anyone.
Still, there might be more damage to be done. Kvaratskhelia. Raspadori through the middle. He can turn very adeptly in tight areas. The torture, I know it's going to be different torture to a Simeon, what he produces, but
Juve fans won't
like watch him too.
Yeah, but Juve fans won't like this, Paul. They're not stepping on to Napoli. All right, the game's 5-1, and you can say, well, they're not going to get anything out of the game, but at least show something that the fans that are watching all around the world and the fans that are in the stadium, give them something to grasp onto. Try and make a contest of it. And I mean that by, man for man. Just try and make sure, because at this point in the game, Napoli are cruising. They're taking the mickey a little bit. Good luck to them. I've got to say it again, I have never seen 3 centre-backs be that petrified of one player, Victor Osimhen. He's terrorised them.
Adrian Rabiot is now going to be brought off for Matteo Soulé, the 19-year-old. Another that Allegri has turned to during this mini revival mid-season.
I feel a little bit for Philip Kostic and Chiesa tonight. They've worked hard enough, just haven't got them on the ball.
The midfield's so strong. He's been outgunned in that area tonight, Allegri, by Zambo and Guisa, particularly Lobotka, Zielinski.
Well, that's what I mean though, Paul. It was 3v3, so they haven't got done tactically.
Here's Miretti. The youngsters asked at least to see this through without any more damage to the reputation of the 36 times champions.
And it is the thought process, that goes through players, even still today, more so when I was playing. But if you're playing 3v3, essentially in the middle of the park, it's man for man. I stop you, you stop me. And they haven't done that tonight, Juve. McKennie, Locatelli, Rabiot. Napoli's 3 have been better, stronger, faster. And you always have to earn a victory. But they've earned it. Because now they can get to this point in the game, Napoli, and just relax and enjoy themselves.
Bahrami, what a goal from him tonight. Di Lorenzo gets the decision.
I wonder if his demeanour, Spalletti, is more or less saying to everyone, don't get carried away.
That's his job now, isn't it? To do exactly that. It never takes much in these parts for the frenzy to take over. We know what it's going to be like. It was building last season until it went so flat in March and April. But this team looks clearly a level up from that.
I think a lot of the Juve players, after the game, when they get back in the dressing room, will think, what's happened there? We've just been blown away. Didn't see it coming.
Raspadori will keep on buzzing away on the shoulders of those Juve defenders right to the end of this.
I mean, how do you write that script when you're playing Juve and they've got 8 wins on the spin, not conceded a goal in 8 games, but yet Napoli put 5 past them? How do you write that script before the game?
especially Don, as they turned round 2-1 down thanks to Di Maria's response for Juve, and having very nearly scored with the last touch of the first half. Surely at that point they're saying, Juve, we've weathered the storm here, guys.
Well, it just goes to show how important that save from Alex Merritt was. Off the back of Rahmani's clearance. That obviously would have been a leveller. 2-2 at half-time might have been a different story, but in truth, Napoli have been too good. I think it's the message it sends. I think it sends a message to Milan, it sends a message to Inter. Now they're going 13 points clear of Inter in fourth.
It's a long way back, that's for sure. And any little slip now, so costly for Inter Milan. That's what happens when you put on a show like this.
Well, when you get, you know, this far clear, you start to take one or two horses away.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine 14 behind. Inter are going to make that up, and Napoli, no chance. Having said that, I said that 3 months ago about Juve. And they were about 16 points behind.
Merritt got there ahead of Miretti.
But now Milan and Juve have got to do all the chasing, 10 behind.
Rami's head sums up his night. Kostic.
Yeah, he's just thinking, why not? 2 or 3 minutes to go, might as well have a shot from distance.
Herving Lozano now for Kvaratskhelia. This could be the cheer of the night right here. All around they stand.
It all goes to show as well the strength of the squad that Spalletti's got. It's not just about a starting 11.
Giovanni Simeone, anybody?
Yeah.
Kept in reserve tonight. Raspadori gives chase. Bremer turned. What a chastening night it has been for Bremer here. Among a lot of others, of course. Illing. Miretti. No way through for Keane, shut down expertly by Kim. And Dombele, he might have a say at the end of this.
It's almost a throwback to how Shevchenko and Batistutto used to terrorise centre-backs. The performance Osimhen's done tonight on those three.
Every single stat has Napoli clear by some way. We don't have a stat for confidence levels, but Juventus is shredded, surely, Don.
Yeah, the Olays don't help neither, because that is rubbing it in. The confidence levels, from Napoli's point of view, through the roof.
Raspadori to his captain, and the captain gives him a bit of a look. Nobody really minds.
Wonder what Koulibaly's thinking. His form's not amazing at Chelsea. Potentially giving up the Scudetto, leaving the club.
I don't dare ask him. Contributed so much to the development of this team in this generation, of course. He would know exactly what it is like to win big games here. There's not many places in the world to match it.
I bet it's hurting him, you know. I bet it is.
Ealing Jr. thought about trying to do something special. Got as far as the edge of the Napoli box, Sam Ealing Jr. Once off Chelsea, of course. Merritt on guard. Ball's out, I think. It's all academic anyway. Try telling them they're not going to win the Scudetto at last.
And all they can do with this victory tonight, this statement win, is put pressure on Inter at San Siro against Verona. And Milan away to Lecce. They've got to be flawless.
Here goes Keane. Briefly.
They can sit back this weekend, this group of players, this group of Napoli players, because they've earned it. And they can sit back watching the other teams potentially struggle.
A lot of the current Napoli fans don't truly remember what it was like 1989-90 and the frenzy that surrounded it. The last time that they were crowned champions in Italy. 2023 continues to bode well. Napoli hit Juventus with a fantastic 5. It is still only roughly halfway. De Laurentiis knows that, but Napoli with this move 10 points clear. Inter remain the only team to beat them, but who can stop them? The rest are almost disappearing at this moment. 8 wins in a row for Juve coming here tonight, the 36 times champions. They made up so much ground to have the opportunity to strike tonight, but the strikes all went against them. Napoli have shown not just Italy, but the world what this team is all about under Spalletti. Energy, power, precision. And they pull miles clear of the rest with an historic win.